Now guys, the Bambu Lab P2S is finally here. If you watched my channel or my videos just recently, you know I had a P1S sitting in the place of where the P2S right now sits. I've sold my P1S last week because I did pick up the P2S at the same day when I sold the P1S. Okay, so it's sold in Best Buy, which is great. I went to the Best Buy, I put on a deposit, and they reserved one of those early release units for me. So this is probably one of the earliest P2S available here in Miami. And as a consumer slash non-paid influencer, I really want to find out how easy it is to get the P2S out of the box, get it set up, and also just to quickly tell you guys some of the improvements that they've made with the P2S. Now, even before I open the box, I can already tell or anticipate what has been changed because I have a H2D, and for the most part, the P2S is a upgrade that tries to integrate all the newer features that was developed and implemented in the H series of the printers. They brought down the cost, of course. There are some slight compromise in terms of build quality and the feature set that was originally found in H2D. However, it is still a evolutionary upgrade for the P1S. Now, do you really need the P2S to start out? And even before I unbox this, I'm going to tell you guys, no, you do not need to buy the P2S to enjoy 3D printing, some PLA and PETG materials, which is probably going to be what most folks is going to buy this printer for. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing. Right now the time is 10:35. I'm going to try to see how long it takes for me to get this powered on, set up, calibrated, and ready to go. Okay, so hopefully not too long, because even for me as a total beginner, the P1S only took half an hour to set up. So this thing, since I just unboxed P1S a couple weeks ago, shouldn't take that long to figure out, I guess. So I'm gonna leave it on the floor, take the printer out, and find out. There we go. Not terribly heavy, okay? Not terribly heavy. And that's everything in the box. I'm gonna leave the big box to the side. Take a look at this printer. It looks just like the P1S. Lots of safety features to get those tapes out. Oh, look, now there is a handle at the bottom, which is great to get everything taken out, right? And again, it is heavy because there is a AMS2 Pro unit hidden inside, which again is gonna be a great addition. And I did a recent review of the Creality Space Pi X4, and I said, why can't Bambu make a filament dryer that could dry and heat and print at the same time? And they still haven't made one yet, but the AMS2 Pro could dry the filaments when it is not in use. So when it's ready to be used, it is ready to go. So no, in order to take the AMS unit out, I have to remove those two screws, it looks like, and then those two screws, and probably one more screw at the back. So gotta do that and then skip this, and then you guys can see the continued process. So now, 2 screws removed, AMS is ready to come out. And we just have to be really, really careful. Okay, here we go. And again, this is really packed well. Okay, so for folks who are wondering if you're going to receive a damaged unit, I don't think you have to worry too much. And now we need to continue removing all the foams, and there are quite a lot. So those foams, some of those requires a cutting of the zip tie. So we're gonna go ahead and cut them. Four more screws to remove here. There are some desiccant. I'm gonna leave it down here. And the good thing is the access lock is, oh, what's this? The access lock is tied together on this plastic frame with the AMS unit. So once you remove the AMS and you untie this, you unscrew this, the access should be unlocked rather quickly. And there are 4 screws that are locking this. So I would say the unpacking experience is definitely not bad, okay? The H2D is slightly time consuming because, excuse me, it's a much larger unit. And this unit is small and manageable. So again, very easy to unlock everything. So there's also 2 new red tabs that you need to remove. That's to protect the Z-axis. So basically you just unpull this and unlock it like this. And we're pretty much almost ready to roll it. Now those foams, we have to wait till the machine is in self-calibration mode to remove. One last screw right there, Z-axis. And that's all the screws there is to remove. We need the power cord, and we can put the brand new, sparkling new LCD screen on here and power it up. Here we go. This is what everybody's asking for from P2S, and again, I agree, the P2S screen is absolute garbage. This is a significant upgrade for sure. The process of installing the screen is exactly the same as H2D. Look at this, so nice, right? Very, very nice. Now let's put the top lid on there. Run the initial calibration, which is gonna take about half an hour at least for acoustic and some other things that the machine is going to run. Look at the machine in its almost ready to go stage. I am very excited. So how long did it take? Started at 35, now it's 50. So 15 minutes. 15 minutes, literally, this machine is ready to go with calibration. Let me find the power cord, which is going to be in the AMS unit, I believe, hopefully. Nope. Oh, right here. Now, if you have the combo, it's going to take slightly longer to set up the AMS with some PDF tubing that you need to connect. But if you're just using the included spool, at this stage, 15 minutes, it is ready to do the calibration and pairing with your apps and everything else. So let me go ahead and finish setting it up. Another improvement I need to show you guys comes with a buffer already installed. The buffer actually takes 2 of those inputs. So you could use this buffer with AMS1 and a AMS HT or 2 AMS units. It's got 2 6-pin connectors. And so one, of course, is from AMS unit and the other, I believe, goes into the machine somewhere. If I can find that connector. But you get the idea. It is improved. Here is the input for this tube. And again, after you get everything adjusted, you should be able to have everything hooked and connected, right? Like this, okay? Poop chute doesn't seem like it's changed. I probably need to print another one because I sold my original poop chute with my P2S. So everything else, it feels just like a P2S. And so again, it's not a evolutionary upgrade, but it definitely is going to incorporate a lot of nice to have features from the H series of the printers. Okay. And let's move those. But at this stage, it is ready to go. Okay. So again, I'm not gonna bore you guys with the initial setup. It's gonna be very similar to P2S if you already have a P2S, because when I did my H2D setup, it's pretty much just pressing buttons. So I'll come back after I get everything set up, ready to print, and then we'll continue to talk about the printer. All right, guys, you can see I changed my camera angle just a little bit to better show you guys what the P2S fully set up looks like. And again, visually, it is exact same shape as the P2S that I had since the day before yesterday. And the doors are exactly the same. They will shatter if you open it past certain points. And looks like you're able to replace this door with a shatterproof door from Panda. I believe it's called Panda doors from BQ. But yeah, and I believe all the existing accessories that are kind of same were all reusable. What I know improved is the LED in there. Before, the P2S LED was really crappy. It's barely functional. Now there are 2, just like in the P2S, I mean the H2D. So the 2 lights shining on both ends really makes the bed area visualized a lot better. I haven't turned on the machine yet. I am going to turn it on. And for the AMS setup, so it's got some foams inside and it's got some stickers inside. And so basically you remove the stickers. You have those unopened packets of the silicone. You'll want to take them out and open those before you put it in there with the filaments. Otherwise, they will not work. You just need to remove the out package of those silicones. Okay, so silicone gels. Once you do that, you get everything set up. Looking at the back, oh, also what's improved is right now there is rubber vibration reducing feet on the bottom, so you can see this kind of shakes around a little bit. On the P2S, it's just, I believe, a regular feet. It doesn't do this kind of like movement now there is, it's the same as the H2D, okay? So there are improvements there. It's supposedly it's gonna have less vibration issues. What you don't get is on the two sides, you don't get the nice window on the, as shown on here on the Bambu Lab H2D. It's sealed, so you can't visualize on the side, but I barely do that. Also on the back, just try to show you guys what the setup looks like. AMS, really easy to connect. You take the PTFE tube, you run it into one of those filament buffer intakes. There's already an intake pre-installed over here for the gray, so the buffer is gonna feed through this gray one, and it's gonna go into the machine and do its magic. Really not a lot of setup to getting this machine up and running, right? So I am gonna turn it on now to do a full calibration. And again, as I said, it's gonna take probably at least 30 minutes for the noise reduction calculation, for the vibration reduction calculation and things like that. But after that, we should be able to start printing and let you guys know what I think about this printer in general and whether you should upgrade from P1S to P2S. Okay, so the setup process is literally 30 seconds. I paired my printer by scanning using the Bambu Handy app, and it immediately found the printer, added it to my Bambu account, and now it's ready for the entire calibration process. So I'm gonna hit start. It says it's about 26 minutes, and we are going to start the calibration. Again, I was waiting for this to raise up so I can take the foam out and don't forget to unzip and cut all the zip ties. Another improvement is the cutter is integrated behind there, so the space in the front left side where before on the P1S it was not available, now is available. So slightly increase the printing space on the front left end. Now I can take this out. It's just as noisy as P1S. So if you're thinking that this machine might have less noise, just based on what I'm hearing now, it is just as loud as the P1S. Auto bed leveling is in process. The front fan is spinning. Now I don't have any filaments loaded, so I don't know if it asks me for filaments or putting a filament, but right now it's not asking me for a filament. So there's no filaments loaded. And right now it's doing the flow dynamics calculation, which is nice. What's also different, okay, is compared to the H2D, is the silicone head. They have improved the design of the silicone head. On the H2D, the silicone head is really easy to get damaged from the bottom, and it was much larger, so it gets loose quite a lot. This silicone head is compatible with the H2D, and right now it's smaller, and the bottom part has been improved, so when you rip it out, it will not get damaged as easily as what was originally on the H2D. So I might consider getting the improved silicone head by ordering it for the P2S as opposed to the H2D, because the H2D silicone head I don't really like that much. Now in terms of the user experience, calibration process, exactly the same as P1S, so you're not getting anything more fancy or very much more advanced. It's still a very familiar process if you have the P1S. And again, I'm gonna have this run for about 30 minutes. And once it's done, we're gonna come back and we're gonna continue. Now, with the door open, it is just as loud as the P1S. With the door closed, it is slightly quieter than the P1S, even with the fan, with the exhaust fan running. I don't know what speed it's running, but yeah, I would say it is slightly quieter than the P1S. But the P1S sound is really not that loud. Okay, so it's acceptable. And right now it's just slightly quieter, which I guess is a plus for owning the P2S. Okay. So what's particularly interesting is the motor noise cancellation, which I find fascinating. You can hear the motor noise gets quieter and quieter every time it moves to a new location, which again is amazing. So it's trying to completely eliminate the different noise from the motor's movement. It got quieter, and now it's almost silent. Wow, pretty amazing. Now the screen, okay, I love the screen. A lot more useful compared to the P1S. And from using the H2D screen, yeah, this thing is essential. Like, it should not be skipped. The resolution of this screen is slightly lower than the H2D. However, the information displayed is a SAM, so I'm not complaining. It just, the text is slightly less fuzzy or more fuzzy, as opposed to on the H2D, it's more crisp when the text is displayed. But that's pretty much the only difference you're gonna notice if you own both the H2D and P2S. If you don't have the H2D, this screen is night and day difference from the P1S. So now I have my P2S fully calibrated and set up and ready to go. Again, the entire process is basically automatic. You can see my unboxing took about 15 minutes to get the machine out of the box onto here, turning on the machine after 15 minutes to do its fully automatic 30-minute calibration. During the calibration, I was fascinated by, again, the ability to do noise cancellation function and vibration compensation all within this machine, like using its automatic algorithm, which again is amazing. Makes the machine quieter compared to before the calibration and everything else. And the integration with the AMS2 Pro, it's like godsend, so easy to use. Right now, I have a non-Bambu filament in there. And the reason I'm doing that is because as the ending of this video, I want to have this machine print a SAM model that I kind of mashed up, okay? So this is a little thing that I designed for hot shoe for my camera. I want to be able to mount a DJI Osmo onto my hot shoe, so I got a hot shoe cap and I put a GoPro model on the hot shoe cap. This model printed for the most part okay, if you can see it, okay? The front part is fine. Look at the back. It's like utterly ugly. Hopefully you can zoom in. Utterly ugly because of the bridging issue. And this is actually printed on the H2D. So I am not going to change any settings. I'm going to print the exact same profile on my model on the brand new P2S and see how it compares. Now, my theory is the printing quality for even the P1S compared to P2S and H2D is going to be, for the most part, the same, which is excellent. Those kind of issues with, the bridging, the overhang, really is a configuration issue. But just out of curiosity, I want to say out of the box, if it does have the same issue on my HDD or not. If it doesn't, then I will be pleasantly surprised about the P2S, okay? Print quality should be very comparable across all Bambu models. This is just the fun part to conclude this video, and I'm going to start printing. But the very first thing is I have to load the non-Bambu filament that I'm using into the AMS. There we go. All right. So doesn't have RFID. It's a paper roll. which I attached a strip on the two sides so the AMS unit could work. And right now it's feeding it. It's not going to read much information. Okay. But the filament is already fully dried in my other AMS unit from the H2D because I was using it yesterday to print this kind of ugly model. And again, it is ready. It asked me what kind of filament it is because it doesn't recognize it. I'm going to edit and just use a generic PLA. And the color is black. And again, this touch screen is just like the H2D. Very easy to configure, very easy to set up. Dynamic pressure, we're going to use default dynamic pressure and everything stock. And I'm going to start printing. I'm going to go downstairs, load it up, load the model up and start the printing process. So here's the machine printing that model that I was talking about where it just did an ugly job on the P2 H2D. Okay, look how ugly it is for the underside. And I'm hoping the P2S would not have that issue. And if it doesn't have that issue, I am pleasantly surprised. That I want to say that they probably figured this machine out better than the H2D. So anyway, the screen is very useful. Again, displays all the information I need to see. And if we go to here, this is where we visualize all the current cooling situation, the temperatures for all the components, as well as if it's not printing, moving the plates back and forth, left and right. And over here, you can also choose the print speed. I would not ever choose ludicrous mode because that has caused quite a lot of issue last time I tried it. The silent mode makes printing really quiet, but for some prints, you might not want to use silent mode because if the speed was too slow, it might even cause issues. So the LED light is definitely improved. Now there are two, and they are all focused from this angle. So one is right here, and one is right there. Because the camera is mounted right there. Okay, you see that little thing? That's a camera. The AI detection camera. So in terms of AI detection functionality, it is going to be as good or almost as good as H2D. But in terms of the amount of cameras, it's lacking. Okay, so the H2D has this, of course, the main camera. It's got a camera over there, and it's also got a camera behind this thing. So plenty of cameras to detect issues, where I believe on the P2S there's only this main camera for the AI detection. If you guys know if there's another camera behind the print head, let me know. Then it's got two cameras. So the flow dynamics calculation is done using that little piece of plate right there. Okay, that's automatic, which is always nice. The flow ratio, I believe, it's what's it called. The flow ratio was not. It's all manual on all Bambu machines so far. It would be nice if eventually they have a camera function that does automatic flow ratio calculation. That would be cool. Okay, but again, it's a do once and forget situation for your filament. So this filament is gonna run out. I'm gonna go buy the same filament, and I don't have to calculate that again because supposedly they are rather consistent. We're gonna wait for this to finish, which we have about the progress bar is here. We have about halfway through, 11 minutes left. Now, the thing it didn't get is this LED indicator strip right here. Okay, this is a pretty cool strip on the H2D, really, really fancy. You don't get it there, so if you have the screen turned off, you won't be able to see the progress unless you open up the screen again. Over there, even I have the screen turned off, I'm always able to see this strip of light. And again, it's customizable, so you can turn it off if you don't like it, but the option is there. Those are the observations that I've seen so far during my first hour, 2 hours of using the P2S compared to my previous P1S experience and my H2D. Once this finishes, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a conclusion. So I finished printing the exact same model on the P2S, and this is on the H2D of the kind of quickly stuck together model that I developed as a prototype. The H2D model, again, as you can see, had the overhang issue on the bottom. And guess what? The P2S has the exact same issue. So if you're wondering, the print quality between those two machines are pretty much exactly the same. Okay, there are no difference, absolutely no difference in terms of print quality between those two machines. So, which again, if you are doing it correctly, is going to be very, very good and very, very consistent. I'm gonna flip this over to see the top part. Again, this is from the H2D and this is from P2S. The top part printed exactly the same, which is nice and smooth. Okay, there are no issues. The side, and again, very, very comparable. There are no differences, if you ask me, at all. Okay, the other side, it's the same. Visually, they are the same. The lines are nice and consistent on the side walls. Okay, and which again just proves that those printers can be exceptionally reliable if you know how to dial in your printer and how to work with your filament. If you mess it up, it doesn't matter what printer you have, it's going to be messed up. Okay, so in this case, I need to refine my model to make sure that the underside prints out better compared to before. But that goes back to the conclusion of what I think about the P2S. It is really nice. Okay, so it is a nice to have. I wouldn't call this must have, because all the functionality or the feature improvements are nice to have. They are not essentials. If you do decide to go and buy a P1S during sales with the AMS2 Pro model for $600, I think you'll be 90% happy with the P1S. If you currently have P1S with the AMS model, I don't think you need to ditch your P1S and get a P2S like immediately, because they are nice to have features, but the P1S, again, based on the time I've owned P1S, is consistent, is reliable, never give me any issues if the prints are dialed in correctly. So no, you do not need to buy and upgrade to P2S because you have a P1S. Yes, you can sell your P1S and recoup some cost currently and put that money into a brand new P2S with AMS2 Pro combo. That would be a smart move for convenience features. And it will also make the machine future-proof, because obviously they're going to stop the support for P1S. They're going to stop the firmware update for the P1S and stop improving it probably soon after the P2S becomes pretty much mainstream. There were already a brand new firmware that came out that added some additional features, which again just shows that this machine will be their mainstream machine that's gonna get continued refinement, and the P1S is not gonna get much firmware update after this. Okay. One more feature that I think is really nice is now the alignment of the plate is much better and precise. There is a centered alignment tab over there. I literally just push it there and it aligns, and I drop it in. It's perfectly aligned, which is nice. And now on the P2S, it also doesn't rub the print head doesn't rub against the top part of that thing. Now it uses actually that print head cleaner part to cleaning the print head. So Your plate is going to be nice and clean, and there's not going to be scratch on your plate, which is nice, I guess, aesthetic-wise. But function-wise, it's just a small improvement. Okay. Another thing that's nice, this is one piece now. Things gets wiped out really nicely, just like the H2D. There's not a gigantic wall over there on the P1S that stops you from getting stuff out. So that's really, really nice. Okay. Yeah, as I said, all the features on the P2S are nice to have features, very helpful upgrade features, and it really brings the P2S almost in line with the current flagship of H2D/H2C, and native support for AMS2 Pro with a buffer that accepts 2 inputs, which is really nice on the P1S. You need to buy the buffer as an additional cost, and it only has 1 buffer input. If you buy the AMS2 Pro hub, that's additional $50. But again, on this, you don't really need that. You can have 2 AMS, but I mean, who prints that many colors? If you do, I'm sorry. I personally just literally 1 to 2 colors max. So this AMS2 Pro is really, really nice to have. Finally, a USB, which the speed is much faster compared to the micro SD card in terms of retrieving the videos and stuff. And yeah, overall, I think it's a nice upgrade. But if you currently have P1S, I don't really see an immediate, urgency to jump out and buy the P2S as a must-have upgrade. It's a nice evolution. It's not a revolution. So if you have P1S, you're happy with your P1S, there really isn't any need to get up to P2S. But if you don't have a P1S and you have additional $200-300 sitting around, get the P2S to start with, and you will just be overall very, very happy with this printer. Okay, so that's my conclusion, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button and subscribe. And as I use this printer more, I will definitely come back and give you guys more updates on how I think about P2S in general compared to the H2D and my old P1S. So thanks again, and take care. Happy printing.